In this video, we'll take a brief look at what is called the super control panel, which comes up when you press the OK key on the back of the OM-1. This brings up what is called the super control panel. This is a single page menu for shortcuts for the most commonly used settings on the camera. The first line on the top shows the selection, followed by a green box around whatever is currently selected. This screen is touch enabled and you can simply tap on any of the squares to select that. Navigating the super control panel can be done by the D-pad arrow keys or the joystick. The info button at times is used to switch between options, and then pressing on either the OK button or the joystick button will select the option. The front and back dials can also be used to change the selected value. The first option on the SCP, that is the shooting mode, is for display only and the mode cannot be changed from the super control panel. Next up is the shutter speed. You can change it from here. Just press OK on it and you'll see this menu. You can also use the touch here. This is followed by the aperture settings, the f-stop. OK on this and this is what you'll get. You can change it from here. Followed by the ISO. You can simply click OK and change it from here. Of course, we have the front and back dials and some buttons on the camera to change these in a hurry. The super control panel is just a collection of all of those and some more in a simple one-page menu. Next is the focus area mode, and this is one thing that I really miss on the OM-1 because I could actually program the AF area mode and AF on onto buttons in my earlier Nikons, which is not possible on the OM-1. Next, we come to the exposure compensation. Of course, not really valid in the manual mode that I have currently set it to, but this is where you would set your exposure compensation in the super control panel. Next is the wireless menu, which will take you to the main menu to connect to your OI Share app in case you want to transfer files to share on social media and otherwise. Now we have the picture control from where you can change the preset applied to your JPEGs that you view on the LCD or download from the camera. The next is the white balance, which I generally set to auto and it has no impact when shooting RAW. But in case you are using JPEGs or want to use the JPEGs, then you have to make sure that the white balance is set as per your current scenario and lighting. Next up is the button function, which allows you to reprogram the buttons on the camera on the fly, and this can be very useful in case your shooting scenario changes while you are out in the field. We now come to the AF modes, and the OM-1 offers a variety of those. I will discuss all of these in an upcoming video. The next option is for face and eye detection, but there is no subject detection here, only face and eye for human faces. Next is the option to change the flash modes. If you have a flash mounted or enabled, you can do that from here. The flash exposure compensation follows the flash mode, and that you can set here. These are the drive modes for the shutter release offered by the OM-1, and there are quite a few of these, and I will get into detail in a later video. We now come to the metering option, and unless you are shooting full manual like I do, this will automatically adjust your ISO, your shutter speed and your aperture depending on your mode that you're shooting in to get you the best possible exposure according to the camera. Next is the aspect ratio for the images, and by default it is 4:3. That is why it is called micro four thirds. But you can change it to any of the other aspect ratios. The camera will not crop your raw file, it will just put in the crop information in the raw file, which can be used by applications processing the raw file. Next is the image stabilizer option. You can pick between a few modes depending on the scenario you're shooting in. For example, if you're doing birding, you might want only vertical or horizontal stabilization. We now come to the auto switch for the SD cards option, which we have already discussed in the earlier settings video, so we will not get into that. After the cards, we have the file save format. We have discussed some of this earlier, and I will take this up in a later video in more detail. For now, this is just the save format that you can change from this option. The last option allows you to change the video recording settings. You can just press the OK and use the info button to switch into the other options and modify those. When you set the video mode, the SCP changes its appearance a bit for the last two lines. The stabilization options are slightly different than earlier. Recording format you can still change, and you also have the option to change the recording level of the microphone from here and also adjust the levels for the headset in case you're using one. The other major change in the SCP when you've selected the video mode is that you can actually switch the modes to manual, shutter priority or aperture priority using the front or the back dial. And that's it for now. Have fun till the next one.